In late April 2007, Estonia, a small Baltic nation unfamiliar to many, appeared calm after dark. The streets were empty, but inside government servers, systems were failing fast. Banks suddenly shut down. Parliament's website disappeared. News outlets went silent. ATM machines stopped working. Even emergency services lost connectivity. There were no explosions, no alarms, and no troops in the streets. Yet Estonia was under attack in an entirely new way. Lines of computer code became the weapon. Within hours, one of the world's most digitally advanced countries was pushed toward collapse. No clear attacker emerged, no signatures, no flags, only rumors and quiet speculation pointing toward Russia. How could a nation be crippled without firing a single shot? Who was responsible for what would later be called the first cyber war in history? And what did it reveal about future conflicts? This story begins in Tallinn, Estonia, on April 26, 2007, where a bronze statue of a Soviet soldier from World War II stood in the city center. For decades, the statue symbolized Soviet victory. To many Estonians, it was a painful reminder of years under Soviet rule. To the country's ethnic Russian minority, however, it remained a respected war memorial. On this day, the Estonian government made a critical decision. The statue would be relocated from the city center to a military cemetery. As night fell over Tallinn, tensions boiled over. Thousands of mostly Russian-speaking protesters gathered near the statue's location. What began as a tense protest soon spiraled into chaos. By midnight, riots broke out. Young people hurled stones and bottles. Storefronts shattered. Cars burned. Police confronted rioters. Dozens were injured, and one life was lost amid the unrest. For 2 nights, Tallinn burned with anger over the statue. By April 28th, authorities finally restored a fragile calm. Broken glass was cleared away. Fires were extinguished. The bronze soldier was quietly moved to its new location. Estonia had survived the physical violence, but just as the riots ended, a more dangerous conflict was about to begin. The battle had shifted into cyberspace. No one was prepared for what followed. Tallinn's streets were calm again. The crowds were gone. While the city cleaned up the damage, something unusual was unfolding online. Late on April 27th, government websites began malfunctioning. The Prime Minister's site suddenly crashed. Soon after, the National Parliament's website went offline. Editors at Estonia's largest newspaper were overwhelmed by a flood of spam comments. Thousands of junk messages poured in simultaneously. At first, it seemed like angry public reaction to the riots. Then, websites were defaced. The ruling Reform Party's page was replaced with a Soviet flag and an angry message. It became clear this was no accident. Estonia's online infrastructure was under a coordinated attack. Word spread quickly among IT professionals and government officials. The country was facing a cyber assault. Soon, clues appeared on Russian-language forums, where users shared target lists and basic tools to overwhelm Estonian websites. The forums functioned like a digital rallying cry for tech-savvy nationalists. Instructions on how to join the attacks spread rapidly. By the end of April 28th, dozens of Estonian websites were under distributed denial-of-service attacks, flooding them with traffic until legitimate users were locked out. Estonia's IT team scrambled to respond as traffic graphs spiked wildly. What few realized was that this was only the opening phase. The next wave would not come from angry individuals, but from a far more powerful, organized digital force. Estonia was about to become ground zero. In early May 2007, the second wave hit with unprecedented strength. This time, it wasn't volunteer attackers. A massive botnet joined the assault. Hundreds of thousands of hijacked computers from Vietnam to the United States were commandeered by malware and turned into digital soldiers. These machines unleashed synchronized floods of data toward Estonia. Waves of fake traffic slammed into national systems. Web servers collapsed under the pressure. At the height of the assault, 58 major websites were taken offline at the same time. Government portals vanished from the internet. News outlets couldn't publish online. Banking systems froze, preventing citizens from withdrawing cash or using credit cards. Even emergency phone services experienced outages as telecom systems buckled under the attack. For ordinary citizens, daily life ground to a halt. Payments failed. ATMs were useless. Television and online news sources went silent. An information blackout spread fear, even though the attack itself remained invisible inside server rooms. Estonia's small computer emergency response team worked non-stop to reroute and filter traffic. To survive, they made a drastic decision, temporarily cutting international internet connections, like raising a drawbridge during a siege. The move slowed the attackers, but isolated Estonia from much of the online world. Calls for help went out. NATO and EU cyber experts arrived to assist and observe. For nearly 2 weeks, waves of attacks tested every defensive measure Estonia had. By mid-May, the attacks gradually weakened. Websites began returning online. The siege was over. Estonia had survived barely. Yet the central question remained unanswered. Who was responsible? The scale and coordination of the attack seemed far beyond a prank. From the start, Estonian leaders pointed toward Russia. The statue controversy provided motive, and officials openly accused the Kremlin of orchestrating cyber retaliation. Moscow denied all involvement, dismissing the accusations as absurd. No definitive proof tied the attacks directly to the Russian state. The perpetrators hid behind layers of anonymity, using botnets that made the traffic appear global. Hackers routed their attacks through compromised servers across continents. This was the fog of cyber war, where identities could be masked with a few keystrokes. Still, investigators uncovered hints. Coordination on Russian forums was not entirely hidden. Evidence suggested patriotic Russian hackers played a major role. Months later, a leader of the pro-Kremlin youth movement, Nashi, publicly claimed responsibility, describing the attack as a grassroots digital retaliation over the statue. Some experts doubted the claim, suspecting exaggeration or misdirection. Meanwhile, an ethnic Russian Estonian student became one of the few convicted participants after attacking websites from his home computer. He was a minor player. The major figures remained unknown. Whether state-directed, civilian-led, or a mix of both, the 2007 attacks blurred the line between mischief and warfare. Estonia was not just a victim. What followed reshaped global cyber defense. Estonia transformed its trauma into leadership. The country strengthened its cyber defenses and built new systems. The world took notice. What happened in Estonia could happen anywhere. In response, NATO established its Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence in Tallinn. Military doctrines evolved. Cyber attacks were now considered alongside tanks and aircraft. Estonia's case raised a chilling question. Could a digital assault equal armed aggression? The echoes spread worldwide. In 2008, Georgia faced cyber attacks alongside a Russian invasion. Over the following decade, attacks on power grids, hospitals, and elections reinforced the lesson Estonia learned first. Cyberspace had become a battlefield. Estonia's experience showed how a connected society could be thrown into chaos without conventional weapons. No bombs, no soldiers, only code. Defense thinking was permanently altered. Today, cyber defense is as vital as border security. In 2007, a new era of warfare quietly emerged in Estonia's servers. The first nation knocked offline by cyber war stood back up stronger and warned the world about invisible enemies. The digital battlefield is real, and the weapons are just a click away. Do you think we are truly ready for the next global cyber war? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history that shaped our modern world. Stay safe, online and offline. Goodbye.